Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Paintivity, and today I'm going to be continuing the Shut Up Phone Cinderella phenomenon. It's like part 4, 5, something like that, and I think I'm where I need to be for where we left off and picking up stuff like that. So last we were at I'm already thinking of the wrong name. So the princess is trying to follow Rod around, and his sister sent for him to go into town with them. So she went to go get Rod, and now they're about to go into town. So it says, Rod's silent as we make our way back to the palace gates. I'm still thinking about what he said to Fritz earlier. Why would Rod agree to Fritz's request? Because he just wanted him to leave? And so she's confused about why Rod would agree to take care of her, knowing that she's kind of given up her spot as princess temporarily in a way. Let me see. I gotta turn that off, scaring the crap out of my dog. I stare at Rod's back as he walks in front of me. Sometimes I can't figure out what he's thinking. Rod, Paintivity. Emmeline beams when she catches sight of us. Are you ready? Rod crosses his arms. He doesn't look very happy with his sister. Even though Rod is younger, I can't help but think that he often sounds like the older of the two. I'm busy, Emmeline. I can't keep dropping everything whenever you want to leave the palace. I'm sorry, but I just really needed some fresh air today. You can get plenty of fresh air on the palace grounds. I felt I needed to be off the palace grounds. Emmeline's face drops as she looks down at the ground. Rod lets out an exasperated sigh before stepping inside the carriage. Come on. Rod? Just for an hour, okay? Thank you. I don't understand why she has to go everywhere with them. I soon come to realize it's easier to walk around town now that everyone's forgotten who I am. The atmosphere around town feels brighter. All the spiteful stares are gone. Princess Emmeline. Oh, how are you doing? Is your wife feeling better? Emmeline has responded to most of the people who know her. She seems to know a good majority of the people in town. I hang back as Emmeline speaks with the man. The night escort hovers somewhere nearby, watching for disturbances. We're going to take longer than an hour if she continues like this. I'm not going to rush her. Don't you need to return to the palace to continue whatever work it is that you were doing? Rod raises an eyebrow at me. I do have to get back to my studies, but my family always comes first. If this makes Emmeline happy, then I'll gladly come with her to town. It's a small thing. Happy? I look more closely at Emmeline. She is smiling, but then she always smiles. I don't understand. She's more at ease talking to the townspeople sometimes because they don't judge her. Why would she have to worry about being judged? It's clear that everyone adores her. Emmeline takes the man's hand in hers as she wishes him well. Rod points out the gesture. See that? That's goodness. You could learn something from my sister, Paintivity. Is goodness pretending to be interested in the lives of strangers? Emmeline eventually says her goodbyes and before walking toward a familiar store. This is a toy shop I visited with Emmeline and Rod before. I glance at Rod and notice the expression on his face. He seems conflicted. But why? But before I can ask, Rod marches in front of me and decisively pushes open the door. When I enter, Emmeline's already hugging the shopgirl, Viorica. Emmeline, you look as beautiful as ever. Oh, please, I look the same. You, on the other hand. Emmeline steps back before nodding, a bright smile on her face. Being in love suits you. When is the wedding? Wedding? She's already engaged? I catch a small movement out of the corner of my eyes and turn to glance at Rod. I notice his fingers clench into a fist before he quickly hides his hand behind his back. Though his expression is as impassive as always, I notice a tenseness in his shoulders. Oh, Desmond? And I have set a date. Haven't set a date yet, but it should be soon. Would you? Viorica trails off when she notices the rest of us. Hello, Rod. Viorica. His tone is surprisingly static. Last time he was here, I was sure he sounded friendlier. So what can I help you with, Emmeline? Looking for another doll? Another doll? But Emmeline is not interested in dolls. Oh no, I'm just here to see you. I can't stay for long since Rod has things to do. Emmeline, I'll wait for you outside. Oh, okay. I feel like there's something going on between these two. I know it's my job to follow Emmeline around, but I'm not at all interested in hearing her talk to this girl. Does she even want me here? I think it's best to stay with her because you should. Before I can decide what I want to do, Emmeline has turned to look at me with a smile. This is Paintivity. She has started working as my personal maid today. It's not like you to make a maid follow you around. Emmeline's expression quickly becomes apologetic. I'm sorry, Paintivity. I realized I didn't even ask if you wanted to come with us. I just expected you to tag along. Why is she apologizing? I meant to tend to her regardless of where she is, unless she dismisses me. I'm sure Paintivity doesn't mind. Such a beautiful day today, after all. Emmeline turns to me and smiles. You don't have to wait with me if you don't want to. I won't be long. I only wanted to see Viorka for a bit. I haven't been able to see her as often since I've moved. Well, that's to be expected. Princesses shouldn't be associated with shopgirls like me. Viorka has a point. Why does Emmeline insist on this? But you're my best friend. I'm still not accustomed to the fact that I can't just visit you every day. Those were the good old days when we were still neighbors. I'd still live next to you if I could. Do you remember all those games of tag we used to play together when we were children? Remember how Rod always lost? The two girls laughed together at the shared memory. I tried not to roll my eyes. So they were all childhood friends. Are you sure there's nothing I can help you with? We all turn at the sound of door chimes as a customer walks in. Excuse me. One moment. Viorka turns to Emmeline with a guilty expression. I'm so sorry, but I have to take this. No, it's alright. I'll come see you another time. I promise, we can talk for as long as you want next time. Emmeline smiles and hugs her friend in farewell. I follow closely behind Emmeline as she exits the shop. Rod pushes away from the wall that he had been leaning against once he notices us leaving. Ready to go? Emmeline nods with a small smile. The two of us begin to make our way to the palace again. I thought they were in a carriage. Apparently that was just like a one-way thing. I don't know. By the time we return to the palace, evening has fallen. I hope we're not late for dinner. The minute the carriage doors open, suddenly, we're greeted by two familiar faces. Sir Alcaster and Sir Mithros stand before us. Princess Emmeline, Prince Rod, I was on my way to look for you when Sir Mithros informed me of your whereabouts. He glares at the knight escort and the knight shrinks back. Sir Alcaster turned sharply to me afterwards, his eyes narrowed. Why is he looking at me like that? It was getting late and the queen was worried. I'm so sorry. Princess Emmeline, Prince Rod, it's almost time for dinner. Please, let me escort you inside. Sir Mithros gestures for them to follow him. I'm about to follow after them when Sir Alcaster suddenly moves to block my path. His eyes are cold. He opens his mouth to say something, but then closes it and shakes his head. You are dismissed, girl. You may go back to your quarters. But that is an order. His gaze is piercing. Even when I was a princess, I was not able to stand up to that gaze. Yes, sir. Random. After dinner, I make my way back to the room assigned to me. As I walk down the hall, I notice Rod heading in my direction. Rod? He suddenly grabs my arm and pulls me away down the hall. Ooh, rude. Where are you taking me? Rod does not answer and just continues moving until we reach an unfamiliar door. What is going on? Rod cuts me off by placing a finger on my lips. He looks around warily before finally pulling me in through the door with him. Oh, is he gonna lock me up in the dungeon? This place. I've heard of this place before, but have never seen it. Is this a secret passage that leads into town? Rod doesn't answer me. He simply keeps walking. I see no other option but to trail after him. How is it that you know this place? He still refuses to answer. Are you deaf? Rod suddenly stops and I bump into his back. I stumble back with a scowl. You ask too many questions. Because you refuse to answer any of them. I glare back at him until Rod makes an exasperated sound. Lady Parfait is the one who told me about this passage. It makes sneaking out the palace easier. Parfait? She did not give me any explanation as to how she knew of this place. There are only meant to be 2 copies of the keys. The king has one and Sir Alcaster has the other. Then why do you have a key? Don't tell me you stole it from the king. I'm not a thief. Lady Parfait also has a copy. She saw fit to provide me with a key for my own use. What? How does Parfait have a key to this place? You'll have to ask her that yourself. Once we step into town, I realize where it is that we're headed. We're going back to the margin. Cool. Delora is the first person we see as soon as we enter the margin. Well, look what the cat dragged in. Delora, you... Rod's glare silences me. He steps forward and points back at me. Gaze icy. She is not staying at the palace. What? Delora raises an eyebrow. Why's that? She works there now. I do not know what game you're playing, but I will not be a part of it. Excuse me? This is not a game. I do not want you meddling in my life as you meddled with hers. The room's temperature dropped several degrees. Dolores stares at Rod, her expression suddenly lacking any emotion. With all due respect, Your Highness, I do not want to meddle with your wallowing. But just because you do not wish to break your curse doesn't mean that others shouldn't want to either. You should be humbled that our princess here thought you would be able to help her. Rod raises an eyebrow. Where is Lady Parfait? Of course you want to talk to Parfait because she puts things nicely. Fine, I'll fetch her for you. Delora curtsies as she sweeps out of the room. Rob sighs. He clearly looks irritated, but he doesn't put a voice to his agitation. Now that we're alone in the empty room, the silence is deafening. And so I ask him the question that's bothered me since we came here. Why don't you want to break your curse? I don't need to explain myself to you. Do you even know how to break your curse? I do. So why are you not doing anything? It's none of your business. I don't realize the anger inside of me at first, and then I notice my hands and fists that I'm shaking. You're angry at me for treating your family with unkindness, and yet you do not treat me with any respect or kindness either. Excuse me? I realize that this is the angriest I've felt in a long time, and it makes words fall out of my mouth. You're guilty of the same disrespect you hold me accountable for. We are both being cruel to family, aren't we? Rod's eyes are ablaze as he stalks toward me. He stops right in front of me, his mouth pressed into a firm line. As you are so fond of telling Emmeline, we do not share any blood. The only thing pulling us together is the king, and you do not share his morals. Remember this, Paintivity, you'll never be a part of my family, and I'll never see you as a sister. Well, worth a shot. Rod storms out of the reception area just as Delora enters. Sorry, looks like Parfait wasn't in. She pauses and gives me a wry smile. Seems this partnership is going well. I throw my hands up in anger. He is infuriating. Not as helpful as you thought? I was surprised you were asking for his help in the first place. All I've been doing today is following around Emmeline, and he still finds reasons to snap at me. In his eyes, I can do nothing right, even though I'm making an honest effort to break my curse. Delora eyes me as she slides down into a chair. Has he told you anything about his curse? Only that he knows how to break it. Delora sighs. Boys can be so secretive about the silliest things. Rod has been aware of how to break his curse from the very beginning. Then why hasn't he broken it? I have no idea. I think the only other person who knows the full terms and conditions of Rod's curse is Parfait. Parfait? Parfait has known Rod for a while. She convinced him to keep coming to the marching even after he gave up on breaking his curse. She also thinks that working with you will convince Rod to try finding another way to break it. Another way. Don't ask me. I don't know much about his curse either. But if you keep trying, you might convince Rod to talk. I doubt that very much. It seems that all I'm doing is convincing Rod that I do not deserve to break my own curse. Delora looks at me curiously for a few moments, then she grins. I have an idea. If it's another terrible idea... Oh no, this one's much better. I'll just stick around with you, you know, watch out for you. What? Delora, watch out for me? Ah, crap. Great. Ah, crap. I'm surprised when Delora suddenly stands before me in her doll form. There's no way you and Rod are going to sort yourselves out without some kind of help, so I'll be tagging along. It's much easier when I'm travel-sized, Why do I feel like she'll only make things worse? Come on, then. Delora somehow manages to jump in the front of my pocket, into the front pocket of my apron, which is thankfully large enough to fit her doll body in. Let's go find us a prince and get ourselves back to the palace. Ooh, chapter 4, we're getting closer. Let's see. It's been more than a week since Rod and I returned to the march, and he's been avoiding me ever since that day. Not that we have much cause to be around each other nowadays. I'm constantly on my feet preparing for Emmeline's ball. This is ridiculous. Better to be busy than bored, Princess. I stop for a moment to better balance the pile of fabrics that I'm carrying. One of the maids has ordered me to bring this to a designated room so that it can be sorted out. I'm being reduced to fetching and carrying, and I've made no progress on accomplishing my first good deed. I doubt that simply following orders from the other maids will help me get my first good deed. I feel a shuffling in my pocket and then notice Delora peeking her porcelain face out. Better to obey rather than disobey, at least. You're not going to get a good deed being stubborn. Anyway, you've got to put yourself out there a bit more, Princess. You can't just do whatever is convenient for you. That's not good. Delora has been no help at all. Wait, I recognize this place. Isn't this where your room is? I stop in front of the door to my old bedroom. Ever since I came here, I've been ignoring this room, not wanting to see what the king did to it during my absence. Do you not want to go in? Why should I? It's not as if this is my room anymore. Oh, you're no fun. Aren't you curious about how it's changed? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. I guess a little peek wouldn't hurt. Oh, looks the same to me. I step into the room and close the door behind me. It's like stepping into the past. The room's exactly as I left it. Shut up, phone. It seems completely untouched. Moments later, Dolores is standing before me in her human form. It looks like someone's been dusting in here. Strange, considering no one should remember who this room even belongs to. I glance around, eyes wide. Everything looks the same. I put the fabrics I'm carrying down on my bed and make my way to the shelf where my dolls are displayed. My eyes pause on a specific doll. Okay. This one was not here before. Delora raises an eyebrow. Maybe you just don't remember that one because she wasn't very memorable? You do have a lot of dolls, after all. No, I know each of my dolls by name. This one's definitely new. She looks very similar to the dolls I saw at Viorica's shop. I quickly turn at the sound of the doorknob. My eyes move to Delora, but she's already turned into a doll and tucked herself into a corner of the shelf with the rest of my dolls. Emmeline stands in the doorway, eyeing me curiously. Paintivity, what are you doing here? I made a mistake and thought I was supposed to bring these fabrics here. I hope she doesn't see through my lie. Emmeline shakes her head, smiling. It's not your fault, Paintivity. You're still getting used to the palace and its many rooms. I got lost here all the time when I first arrived, too. This room's interesting, though. Father expressly ordered that it be kept clean but otherwise undisturbed. Why would he say that? He won't say why, but apparently this room's very special to him. Maybe it belonged to someone he cherished. Cherished? What a joke. Still, I can't help but feel hope at her suggestion. I don't think Father would like either of us being in here. We should leave soon. I only came here to put a ribbon on one of the dolls. One of the dolls? Yes, I put one of my dolls here. She walks past me to pick up the doll I did not recognize. I bought this. I know Emmeline always visited Viorica, but I didn't think she liked dolls. She always preferred receiving and buying books, so why does she have this doll? Do you like dolls? Well, I mean, I don't mind them, but I don't usually buy them for myself, no. So why did you buy this one? Emmeline looks at the doll with a sad smile and shakes her head. I'm not sure. I bought it as a gift, I remember that much. I was going to give it to someone who liked dolls, someone I wanted to befriend. I don't know why, but it feels right to leave the doll here until I can remember whom I was meant to give it to. Emmeline is silent for a moment before she turns to me with a bright smile. I know you have a delivery to make, but could you come with me to the palace entrance first? Mother's still busy talking with the cook, so the fabrics can wait. I resist the urge to glare at her. She better not be dragging me around to do yet more errands. I'm expecting a delivery and I might need your help. I thought so. I have no choice but to nod. Of course. I begrudgingly follow Emmeline toward the entrance, and there I see a delivery carriage. A familiar person stands beside it. Viorica. Emmeline pulls Viorica into a tight hug. I turn my attention away to glare at the number of boxes at the back of the carriage. I will no doubt have to help carry them inside. How are the preparations for the ball coming? Emmeline's smile seems forced at first, but then eases into something softer. It's going well, I suppose. How about the wedding? Desmond and I have finalized a date. It'll be 2 days after your ball. I can't wait to see you in your wedding dress. These two always talk so much when they get together. Ugh. I ignore their chatter as I walk up to the carriage to observe the boxes piled inside. What's in the boxes? Oh! Viorica reaches out to grab one. She hands it to me. I'm helping with the ball decorations. I came by with part of the order today. Part of it? Careful, it's a bit heavy. I take the box from her hands and nearly stumble. This is heavy. Emmeline should have had the male servants do this. Queen Ophelia placed quite a large order. I brought the more fragile decorations first. Oh, the glass baubles and vases? I grit my teeth as I shift the box in my arms in an attempt to make it easier to hold. I thought you worked at a toy shop. Yes, but we also have aisles dedicated specifically to party decorations. What kind of toy shop is that? Paintivity, will you be alright? I feel annoyance simmer within me. I am obviously not alright. Emmeline reaches out to help me with the box, but she's too late. I've only taken one step forward when the box slides and I stumble. I manage to cradle it in my arms, but its weight is too much for me. Before I hit the ground, I feel strong arms around my waist, pulling me back upright. The box is taken from me. Of course. My heart and mind are racing for a moment. I can't comprehend what just happened. Are you alright? Rod? I glance to his side and I'm shocked to see Rod standing there. The expression on his face gives nothing away, but with our close distance I can see some flicker of emotion in his bright eyes. Concern? Paintivity, I'm so sorry, are you okay? Rod pushes me and I stumble forward, almost tripping on the ground. He raises an eyebrow at me. Know your limits, Paintivity. I glare at him as anger begins to bubble up in my chest. No, I'm not gonna fight with him, it's not worth it. Like, especially if I need his help. Like, it doesn't make sense to be angry at him. I clench my fist and take a deep breath to try and calm myself. I will not stoop to his level. He is the one being cruel here, not me. You shouldn't have stubbornly tried to carry something that was too heavy for you. I will not take responsibility if you get hurt. Viorka, let's see. Rod, you shouldn't be angry with her for trying to help me. It was my fault for giving her something so heavy. Viorka, what are you doing here? Rod's voice is still cold. Viorka looks startled by his tone. I only came to deliver some of the decorations for the ball. And you thought Emmeline and her maid could carry these things on their own? Rod, this is not her fault. I'm the one who chose to bring Paintivity with me. I underestimated the size of the delivery. Viorka was just delivering the supplies. At least she admits her mistakes. I never thought Rod would be so stubborn. Emmeline's expression softens as she looks at her brother. She looks sad. Rod ignores her and picks up the box I had been carrying. He begins to walk away before he suddenly stops and glances back at me. Come on. Rod? We're going to call some servants to carry these boxes in. He turns around and begins to walk away. I am Emmeline's personal maid, not his. I glance at Emmeline, who nods her head. I really am so sorry. Thank you for helping my brother, Paintivity. I curtsy ever so slightly before running after Rod. Okay, so we'll pick it up next time. I don't know, been sitting here quite a while now, so, weather outside's kind of dreary, I'm kind of sleepy, but, so we'll see what his deal is, hopefully. I think he's got an issue with Viorka for some reason, like maybe he's upset that she's getting married. I feel like that's the first thing that seems to be an issue, other than the princess being here working for his sister. So we'll pick that up where we left off next time. We're at least at chapter 4, so yay, there's that. And if you notice there's no music, I apologize, I'll put some in later. But yeah, hopefully it's still interesting to you. If you'd like to go ahead and hit the button, if you have something to say, go ahead and put it below, and I'll put all the information for this in the description too. So I hope you guys are still enjoying it, and I'll see you for the next chapter as soon as I can. So as always, thanks for joining the universe. Bye. Muck. Well, yep, there's the broom. Oh, she knows what's up. Oh no. Stop. I never thought I'd see this. The princess is actually sweeping. I'd say it's more like the broom is sweeping and the princess is just along for the ride. Lady Parfait, your orders have arrived. Where should I put them?